short notice for this briefing, which was inevitable that we have had to have such a briefing today. The nation is anxious of a number of expectations and things they expect happen in this country arising out of the change of government that the citizens of this country effectuated on the 12th of August 2021. But because this is something happening on the continent, let me begin by stating that as a country and as citizens, we need to continue to be proud that on the 12th of August 2021, we peaceably or peacefully transitioned governance affairs of this country from one political party to another. Bloodless. And we are where we are. Everybody is happy, including our colleagues from the Patriotic front, because peace is reigning supreme in Zambia. This is important because as we speak now, we are aware of the happenings that have just taken place in Guinea, where the military has taken over because of a president, we are taught, attempting to mutilate a constitution for a third term. In Zambia, even where a president attempts to go for a third term, there is no military takeover. The people don't believe in a bullet, they believe in a ballot. We must be proud to be Zambian. We've done it before. This tradition must be handed over to the next generation. So those events unraveling in Guinea are a sad scar on the face of this beautiful continent. But as a people, as a country, we are proud that we have continued to show the world that yes, we can, it is possible to change government, even when citizens are not happy with a sitting government, they will wait for the ballot and peaceably change regime. So congratulations once more to the citizens of this great country. This morning, we have a few issues that we thought we should be able to ventilate on for the nation to be abreast of what is going on. We will make a comment on the cabinet announcement. Second issue, we'll be commenting on the PF stating that they have been dribbled at Parliament. Thirdly, we'll be talking about calls by some people for the Patriotic Front to be deregistered as a criminal organization. Fourthly, we'll be talking about the appointment of Commissioner at State House, Mr. Fano Siandenge, who has been labeled a fugitive and somebody facing the criminal justice system of our country. And we'll also be talking about the persecuted civil servants, those who were unceremoniously and ungraciously retired, some in national interest. What's the way forward? And of course, there are concerns by some stakeholders on the number of petitions that have arisen out of this particular election against the backdrop of UPND standing for against unnecessary by-elections. So, cabinet announcement. We are aware that the nation is anxious to hear the team that will run with H.H. Nalumango to take the nation to the next level of our governance. Social media is awash of all these concerns. I'm here to state that anxiety will soon come to an end. You will not wait longer than is reasonably necessary. The president has had to be meticulous about who he decides should work with him, given the enormity of the occasion and the expectations of the people of this country about this administration. So, it has not been business as usual, where you're just sworn in, then from there you just appoint anyhow friends and so on, people without credentials that speak to your vision. This is the reason why there has been this an inordinate delay, because HH has a program for the country, and in order to materialize that program, to bring the promises he and his team made to the people of Zambia to fruition, there is a requirement to put a credible team around that vision for the nation to begin to benefit from those promises. So, to those whose patience has been stretched beyond limit, we apologize. But we are doing it for a good reason. But such anxiety is coming to an end any minute from now as I speak. And to you, dear colleagues from the media, I know you'll be the first ones to be called to such announcements. So this will not be an endless wait. It will come to an end sooner rather than later. The second issue, the leader of the opposition, Honorable Mundubile, and other Patriotic Front supporters and members have claimed that the Patriotic Front were on Friday last week dribbled, in using their words, at Parliament when the National Assembly of Zambia elected Madam Nelly Muchi as Speaker of the National Assembly, Madam Malungo Sangano as First Deputy Speaker, and Honorable Moses Moyo as Second Deputy Speaker. They have said that is undermining democracy because, in their words, all these are UPND aligned. I wish to put the record straight that the Patriotic Front were not dribbled at Parliament on Friday. The Patriotic Front failed to field any candidate. They did not file any nomination. And nominations were lapsing, I think, 48 hours before the time of voting, if not 24 hours before the time of voting. So by the time we were going to the House to vote, at the close of nominations, the Patriotic Front had not filed a single nomination. So, how do we dribble people who didn't enter the contest? How? It is unfair for Honorable Mundubile and his cohorts to begin this political propaganda, which is unsubstantiatable. The very foundations upon which the people of Zambia voted them out, lying to people. There is decency in defeat. Let them own up and say they were scared of their own shadows. By the time the nominations were closing, there was no nomination arising out of a sponsorship of the Patriotic Front for any of those 3 elective positions. That is a fact. And they know it. So I was shocked that they would run to the media to begin to mislead the nation in the like manner they have been misleading the nation in the last 5 years, if not 10 years. Let's do politics of principle so that we can begin to rebuild confidence in the citizens that leaders can be trusted. And in any event, assuming they had a nomination and they are now saying we dribbled them because we put UPND aligned. We haven't put UPND aligned. What we did on Friday was to look at the results of the elections that produced an absurdity with fewer numbers of women in parliament, and therefore decided to go for a woman speaker, unprecedented in this country, and also first deputy speaker, a woman, unprecedented in this country. Then we looked in the direction of our colleagues, the independents. Honorable Moses Moyo is an independent member of parliament for Luangeni. We had a candidate in Luangeni who lost to Honorable Moses Moyo. So what else were we expected to do in lieu of nominations failing coming from the Patriotic Front? We also wish to put it categorical that honesty pays. The Patriotic Front in 2016 sponsored Dr. Patrick Matibini. He was a PF-sponsored candidate. He went unopposed. They then sponsored Honorable Namugala, Catherine Namugala, who was within the PF-MMD alliance. So she was PF aligned. Then they put the second deputy speaker, Honorable Mwimba Malama. The whole line was PF aligned. They all went through unopposed. And we didn't contest because we were truthful to ourselves. We said we don't have the numbers to enter into this contest. Let the opposition PF come up and say we did not have the numbers in parliament to contest. They should have come to us and say we don't have numbers, please do us a favor in the name of democracy. Unlike saying, no, we shall come back to you, and never came back to us until nominations closed. Then they turn around. Would like to urge them that they can do better opposition politics. In fact, me, I'm available to give them lectures on opposition politics, not that politics which they are doing of deception. They already have a bad name in this country. Very bad name. So they shouldn't invite us to begin to attack them instead of helping them to grow, because we want them to remain strong. That is the only way there will be a functioning democracy in this country. We are not interested in having all members of parliament belong to the UPND and UPND alliance. No. So PF was not dribbled. And so the nation should know. Time for lies, propaganda is over. Deregistration of Patriotic Front as a criminal organization. We, as UPND and UPND Alliance, have received with steady shock pronouncements and calls by some individuals that PF must be labeled a criminal organization because of the heinous and hideous atrocities they committed against the people of this country, and therefore be deregistered. We are averse to such kind of permutations because they are undemocratic and are not welcome. For goodness sake, the majority of members of parliament of the Patriotic Front in the House, they are new. So they cannot be held to account for what the wrongs those who were in the House did. So we want to put it very categorical. Those political pedestrians who want to create political identity by making political pronouncements that don't make democratic sense will not have our favor. We are opposed to any cause to deregister the Patriotic Front. Whatever the Patriotic Front did to the people of this country, be it political violence, be it allegations of corruption, and any other criminal travesty, all those are covered under the laws of this country and are able to be adjudicated upon by the laws of this country. The laws of this country are sufficient. There should be no requirement or need to contemplate deregistering the Patriotic Front. And we say this with a great sense of honesty, that if the Patriotic Front had deregistered us, for whatever the reason could have been, we would not have been here. We know that the chances of Patriotic Front bouncing back to power are zero. But for now, they must hold the mantle of opposition for another political party. They are talking about rebranding, True Greens to rebrand. We are calling on genuine Patriotic Front members not to talk about rebranding, but to talk about repentance for the evils they committed against the people of this country. Let them talk about repentance. That arrogance which they are beginning to depict shows the levels of abuse they committed. We know that they have a lot of money. That is the money which they have, which is giving them impunity. You just lose an election. A few days later, you say, let us rebrand. We go back in 2026. No, don't mock the former president. He saved this country well. He is resting. He has now decided to repent. Yesterday he said he has given his life to God. So, praise be to God. So, that is our position. Those people calling for PF, the registration, we are not for that. Appointment of Mr. Fanuel Siandenge as Commissioner of Police at State House. Can we have some silence, please? Yesterday, the nation witnessed some good political, I don't know how I can call it, but some good political interface by the PEP, Patriots for Economic Progress. I don't know if I should call him a president because he doesn't even have a council. Where Mr. Sean Tembo said HH has breached the Constitution by appointing Mr. Fanuel Siandenge, who is faced with criminal charges before the Lusaka Magistrates Court, bordering on aggravated robbery and all the paraphernalia. I'm here to report, and fortunately, I'm part of the UPND legal team. The UPND legal team has been reliably informed that Mr. Fano Siandenge was properly appointed in his capacity as Commissioner of Police at State House without any breach of any rule of law. And therefore, because of the nature of the information that the UPND legal team has been furnished with, I wish to urge Mr. Sean Tembo and or any other such busybody to do due diligence before they can engage on matters of national consequence, because what they say, the public are bound to take it as gospel truth. I'd like to urge my brother, Mr. Sean Tembo, and his like minds to be able to visit the offices of Zambia Police, the offices of the Judiciary, the offices of Director of Public Prosecutions, the offices of the Zambia Police Complaints Authority, and acquaint themselves with the present and current status of Mr. Fano Siandenge. That, in fact, there is no criminal or civil matter that are pending before any competent court in Zambia. There is nothing whatsoever. So instead of creating political excitement, we'll do better to be factual about it. So, President HH has not breached the Constitution as alleged by Mr. Sean Tembo. I should have produced documentation which is within my possession, but because of the nature of the documentation, it does not allow me so to do, but to let the nation know that there was no breach of the Constitution, there was no breach of any law whatsoever. So, Mr. Sean Tembo, kindly do yourself a favor and the nation by visiting these relevant offices or authorities that I have aforesaid stated or mentioned, so that we are on the same page. HH is in keeping with his promise that under his leadership there shall be rule of law. So the nation and those who were beginning to be anxious, no, now HH is doing things as he wishes. No, there's a very competent legal advisory team. So I hope that is very clear. The persecuted civil servants, those who are retired in national interest, on allegation of perception that they were UPND or any other such, we have been receiving an avalanche of calls from these many citizens who were civil servants whose jobs were unceremoniously terminated. I wish to take this opportunity on behalf of the UPND and the UPND Alliance government to request all those affected to exercise a bit of patience so that all the government systems are fully in place under a new regime, and an appropriate platform shall be created where all these who are aggrieved will be able to take their complaints or grievances to, not to individuals like me, not to individuals like Honorable Nkombo, Dr. Msokotwane, to Honorable Mutoro Piri. No, we are not the right platform. There will be a right platform with a legal framework that will be created so that these affected citizens can go to that forum and be able to present their case, and their cases will be determined on merit. Because we are also aware that there could be a few instances where some people could have been disciplined in accordance with the law, but because of this window, they want to take advantage. That is why we are saying there should be this platform which will be apolitical. It will not be a political platform. They will look at case by case on merit, and those who were genuinely victimized would definitely get their way back into the civil service. So we ask for a bit of patience so that the new government can take over its policy implementation in institutions, so that these solutions should be institutional based and not politics based. The last issue, the issue to do with petitions that a number of our colleagues from the Patriotic Front have been petitioned. And we are aware that some citizens, including some civil society organizations, are expressing concern that this is likely to lead to by-elections, which can be termed unnecessary. So why is UPND, you have won elections and you are petitioning? You are petitioning the losers. We are not petitioning the losers. Those who are in parliament, they also win. They also won. They won. So we are petitioning winners who did not win on a clean plate. So this must be very clear. Although Patriotic Front were the ones who set this precedence in 2011 when they defeated MMD, they petitioned all the seats of MMD and caused 33 by-elections, the majority of which they won. We are not on that path. What is happening presently is that individual members with the right so to do have petitioned. Because truth be said, in these just ended elections, PF had no idea they would lose, so they were committing gross electoral malpractice with impunity. Even I in Choma, I won, but it was against all odds. It is that kind of impunity that must be brought to an end. Because if citizens say, no, you have won, so those people who are committing acts of impunity, bribery, and so on, leave them. It means you are telling us that even us, when it is our time to be under pressure, we should do the same things. It is right. It is wrong. That is our position. It's not negotiable. But the good news is President HH is occupying a posture of tolerance. And I am aware that he has met with a number of independent MPs, some of whom are also victims of these petitions. He has also met with petitioners, those who have petitioned colleagues in the Patriotic Front, and the general direction is that we should have fewer by-elections, unless where there are compelling circumstances. The situation, the posture of the president is that of discouraging causation of unnecessary by-elections, because we want to pay attention to development and not politics every day. We have had enough politics. So I wish to let our colleagues in the Patriotic Front, those who are very anxious, to say there is still hope that some of these cases may be dropped. But for those who know that they went beyond the limits of acceptability, it is not us, it is the law. And if we are going to ignore the law because of our personal preferences, that at law is an omission on our part, not a commission, an omission on our part. Thank you very much, colleagues from the media. I end here for now.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mwetwa. This is 11:28, and most of people are supposed to run for deadlines. So maybe we'll get two questions.
No, you can allow them even 5, not a problem. Those who are not rushing.
We are looking at time.
Okay, sir.
2 questions.
There are no questions.
Thank you very much. If there are no questions, we can end our briefing right here for coming through. We will call you again very soon.